The Democrat Party in its death throes. The Republican redistricting earthquake has shattered the political landscape right before our very eyes. And the Democrat Party is literally falling into the abyss. Some of the most odious, repulsive Democrat representatives, including the chair of the infamous J6 committee, are being permanently wiped out as we speak. It's now being widely admitted that the Democrats are being absolutely decimated in the nationwide redistricting battle. And it's a decimation that will relegate the Democrats to a permanent minority for the foreseeable future. It's really happening, gang. We got a wave of redistricting sweeping every single red state in this country, from Texas to Florida, from Louisiana, Alabama, from Missouri to Tennessee. And it is systematically, methodically, and permanently wiping Democrats off the congressional map, just in time for what promises to be an absolutely historic, epic 2026 midterms. What can I say? The scenes of chaos that you just witnessed were from the floor of the Tennessee legislature after the Republican supermajority voted to permanently eliminate the last remaining Democrat congressional seat in their state. Tennessee is as red of a state as you can possibly get. But of course, they were forced by previous Supreme Court decisions to racially gerrymander a congressional district so as to guarantee a Democrat seat. As many of you know, for decades, the Democrats built their congressional majority largely through court-mandated districts drawn around majority-minority populations that deliberately excluded white voters from the mix. If you can, it's beyond belief that this was allowed to take place as long as it was, for literally 4 decades. This Supreme Court, the Trumpian Supreme Court, has officially struck that down as racial discrimination in their Calais decision 6-3. And that decision has now given the green light for all red states all across the nation to eliminate their last remaining, and dare I say, thoroughly racist blue districts. And the state of Tennessee did not waste a second. Yesterday, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed a new congressional map into law. This wasn't just any map. This was a mid-decade redistricting passed in a special session convened specifically because Donald J. Trump called on Republican-led states to redraw their congressional lines ahead of the November midterms. The Tennessee House passed it overwhelmingly, 64-25. The Senate followed, passing it 25-5, and Governor Lee signed it the same day. This is what decisive, unapologetic political leadership looks like. The map takes Shelby County, which is the home of Memphis, the only majority black congressional district in the state, and it splits it into 3 separate congressional districts, and it fragments Nashville into 5 districts. And what that means in plain language is that the ultra-repulsive Democrat Steve Cohen, the lone Democrat in Tennessee's entire 9-member congressional delegation, is now officially gone. His seat has been effectively eliminated. He's been drawn out of his own seat, politically obliterated, mapped into oblivion. And man, did the Democrats flip out. Let's see if we've got this video.
I'll walk him out. Y'all going? Let go of me. Let go of me, sir. Now you got me all tied up. Sir, no. Now you got me all tied up. My brother ain't doing nothing to nobody. He ain't doing nothing to nobody. You don't walk out by yourself. Move the back. Boy! Yeah, let Rep Pearson go. Let Rep Pearson. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You stupid mother.
Yep, that's your modern day Democrat Party right there. In all of its glory. In fact, it's gotten so bad, the Democrats, or at least the literate among them, the ones that didn't graduate from the Laring Center in Minneapolis, the ones who can actually read the writing on the wall, they're now actively advocating secession. I kid you not. Check this one out.
SECEDE from the state of Tennessee. You don't have to redraw maps when you let us out.
State Representative Antonio Parkinson says the new congressional map passed by the Tennessee state legislators silences the voices of Memphis voters.
A government that benefits from the people while weakening their political power creates the appearance of representation without self-determination.
Something he says he refuses to watch happen.
Do you think the passing of today's bill was really that breaking point?
The passing of that bill was as egregious as I've seen.
But the new lines drawn in the Tennessee congressional districts aren't the only new boundaries Parkinson says are in the conversation.
I'm advocating to become a state.
Parkinson is calling for Memphis to leave the volunteer state altogether.
Let my people go.
They're just flipping out. It's so beautiful. I love the sound of liberal tears in the morning. Unfortunately for the borderline illiterate Democrats, what this guy is advocating is legally impossible. Memphis couldn't secede without approval from both the state legislature and the United States Congress, which means in practice, it ain't ever gonna happen. The very state legislature they're furious at would have to vote to let them leave. Good luck. But what you're seeing there really is more of an admission than anything else. The Democrats have lost the redistricting war so badly that their only response is to fantasize about a secession that can never happen in reality. It's literally their only response is to retreat from reality. That tells you everything you need to know about where this party is right now. But this gets so much worse for the Democrats because what's happening in Tennessee is, of course, just the tip of the redistricting iceberg. And I mean just the tiny little tip. It's one tile in an absolutely breathtaking mosaic of Republican political dominance that is reshaping this nation's congressional map from coast to coast for the foreseeable future. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis called a special session and signed a new map, adding 4 Republican seats just this week. Louisiana suspended its primary elections to redraw maps following the Supreme Court's ruling in Louisiana versus Clay. They're giving us 1 to 2 new seats. Mississippi announced a special session to eradicate their last remaining Democrat seat. There you go. Very good. Very good. To eradicate their last remaining Democrat seat. Alabama called a special session to eliminate their Democrat seat. And South Carolina looks like they're erasing their last remaining Democrat seat. So this means that Democrats like Bernie Thompson, the lone Mississippi Democrat representative, is about to be eliminated from Congress. He's been in Congress for 30 freaking years. Thompson was the chairman of the J6 Kangaroo Committee. He's gone. He's gone. Along with that nut from Tennessee, Steve Cohen, with the ultra repulsive Jasmine Crockett, and old man Al Green. Some of the most vicious, vile anti-Trump Democrats are being systematically eliminated from Congress through these redistricting efforts. And how dare any of you black pill? How dare any of you black pill? These guys who have had absolute power for 30 plus years are being eviscerated. And the glory, that's half of it. The glory here is they're being replaced by solid red Republicans. So here's where we stand right now in terms of the redistricting. So Texas gives us 5 Republican seats. Florida gives us 4. Those are all guaranteed. No, they're not hanging up in court like Virginia is. Louisiana, it's going to be +1, +2. They need to go for +2. They need. I've heard rumors that they're only going for +1. They have 2 Democrat districts. Get rid of them. Look at what Virginia just tried to pull off. Get rid of them. Missouri just gave us +1. North Carolina gave us +1. Ohio's giving us +2. Tennessee +1. Alabama, they're giving us their last remaining Democrat seat. Mississippi, as I told you, just giving us their last remaining Democrat seat. South Carolina is poised to give us their last remaining Democrat seat. Georgia is still up in the air, by the way. Georgia, unfortunately, they're up in the air because they're being led by that feckless anti-Trump rhino Brian Kemp. But they could actually give us up to 4 seats like Florida did. Add it all up, and what do you got? Republicans are projected to gain up to 14 to 17 seats from all of this redistricting combined, while Democrats can pick up at most 10 in their own counter gerrymanders. So that's California's 5. Utah's 1 that's been mandated by a court that may get overturned. And Virginia's 4 that right now is being upheld, has yet to be ruled on by the Virginia Supreme Court. It's being held up. I have upheld in my head. It's being held up by the Virginia Supreme Court, so it's only hanging on by a thread. They still haven't ruled on it, even though deadline dates have passed. So very interesting there. So we're going to see a net Republican gain of at least 7 to around 10 seats. And here's the key. It does depend in terms of the total amount of seats we're going into this midterm with. It depends where you put the floor. Where do you have the Republicans at in terms of safe seats? Crystal Ball right now has the Republicans at a solid 211 and the Democrats in 209. I believe that is including Florida as well as Texas. And I do not believe that's including Virginia for the Democrats. But it's not including the other seats that are coming in this week. And so if that's the case, a net gain of, say, 7 seats, if MAGA's is sitting at 211, a net gain of 7 seats means the MAGA majority in the House of Representatives is now, if the maps hold and the election goes as expected, it is now functionally locked in.